Hi folks, this is Sean Hyman from Chart of the Day, and I just want to talk to you about watching the pound dollar for directional bias in the more volatile pound yen. There's a few things that I've observed here on the pound dollar 4-hour chart. One, we've started a new uptrend, and I'm talking about in the near term, which you can see here. For instance, let me darken that up so you can see that easier. So we've broken that downward line, so we've started a new trend. So this was a wave 1 of a new trend. This was a wave 2, which did not retrace 100% of wave 1, so that qualifies. Wave 3, which is normally your longest wave that you'll have in your trend. It's one of your most strongest, one of your most where you have the most people on board. A wave 4 will typically correct about 38% of the trend, which we see here. This is a 38% fib line, and that completes wave 4. It also does not overlap wave 1, which is a rule, and then we get ready to head higher. Wave 5 will often head at least as much as the length of wave 1 from the point start of wave 4. So that would put us up here about 166 or so. So knowing that this is called an impulsive wave, so since we're headed into 5 waves up, and since I believe that this will probably bounce down here and head up here on pound dollar, we can switch to the pound yen and see what's going on there. So there's an upward bias in pound dollar. And so that should put me towards pound strength, which means I should be looking for buying opportunities, which in this case would be dips. Now on the pound yen chart in the 4-hour, I've noticed a couple of triangular patterns that have set up. This one's an ascending triangle. This one's a symmetrical triangle. It doesn't matter because they both have the same outcome, whether they're ascending, descending, or symmetrical. You're still looking for a decisive breakout. The most likely breakout is in the direction of the former trend. Here we were moving overall to the upside. This coiled up, and so the break was to the upside. Notice that contracting volatility begets huge directional volatility. So we got this huge run up here of hundreds of pips. It pulls back and starts consolidating that move into another triangular move. There's a huge likelihood of another upside breakout to come. However, let's just say whether it's an upside or downside break, when we saw the upward impulsive move over the last good bit here in pound dollar, that tells us that we should be looking for buying opportunities. So as we see these dips form, we could be buying dips here, 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 and here, and closing them out towards the top of the triangle here. Now we can also take off part of our lots from our gains that we get from trading this range, and keep our stop tight below this in anticipation to see if this breaks out to the upside. If it does, we'll elongate the gains that we have from that. If it does not and it breaks to the downside, we would have a minor loss here on part of the lots that were left open. And since we had more lots trading through here, we would retain most of the gains that were made through this range, even if it breaks out and heads south on us. But being that pound dollar is looking for a 5-wave up move, it appears, then we would want to be buyers in these triangular consolidations. So the buy should be to the buy side and not to the short side, because the eventual breakout would be more likely to be upward than downward, based off of the buying pressure and the supportive pressure that's on the pound, that is supportive of it, that lifts it, that brings it up higher. It will tend to have a tendency to lift pound yen as well. And let me tell you, when we get these consolidations, that should get your chops to licking, and it should get you attentive and put your antenna up and tell you that a huge directional break is coming once again, just like what we had here. I mean, this thing came from 146 up to over 150, almost 151. So, it was 400 plus pips to the upside here in no time, because each one of these candles is a 4-hour period. So a huge directional move. Well, that's about what we're going to see again as this coils up and finishes off. We're either going to have a huge directional move down or huge directional move up. Since we came into this thing from the upside, there's a huge chance the higher statistical probability is to break back out on the side that it originally came into the consolidation on, because trends are more likely to continue than they are to reverse. However, it doesn't mean that's a guarantee, but it does tell us statistically where we should be placing our buys when we're looking at the currency cross here on pound yen. Thanks so much for watching. That's the chart of the day. Bye bye.